Hi, everybody. This is Vladimira Kuna, and we have a beautiful Maria Steuer here. Hi, Maria. Are you well?
Hi, Vladi. And you?
Yeah, I'm very good. Thank you. We're back at the weekend question for parents with Maria's amazing advice, as she's been graciously giving us. And today I wanted to ask about guilt. So talk about guilt where parents feel guilty when something happens and they know as they expect. I can say probably as we have expectations from our children, or it doesn't go the way which we at that point perceive as good or bad. As we know, nothing's good or bad, but we do find ourselves in these situations. And I was wondering, what advice could you give to parents related to guilt?
Yeah, you already gave the answer, Vladi. Guilt only exists because we judge, because our expectations were not fulfilled, and then without the expectation and without not coming to the result we were expecting, then we feel guilty because we think we did something wrong. And this is, something like children thinking, because you think you did something and you are responsible for the outcome, for the result. And so this is the question: are you responsible, and for what are you responsible? And mostly the guilt exists or develop after a situation. In the situation, you do not feel guilty. And when you
It's
look
true.
back, and then you maybe find out that you have done something that wasn't in the right way, in the right direction, then you start feeling guilty about the past. And when
Also,
you
is it how we judge that situation at the moment where something that caused us to think the guilt would be the experience we went through?
I think in the situation when you act, you do not feel guilty, and you do not do something with your children on purpose. In the situation when you act, I believe everyone tries to give the best. And then afterwards, when you look back, because the results weren't you were expecting, then you feel guilty. And on the other hand, when things are going out good, you feel like I
The
was
good
really
mom.
good. Because this is because we very often define our worthiness with the results our children show. I am worthy if my children are in a special way, how I expect, how my environment expect, or something else. And if the results aren't the way everyone would love or would say smart or good, then we feel guilty. So guilty is really subjective. And I apologized and told my children when now they are grown up and they come to me and say, oh, this wasn't really good what you did, or something like this, then I tell them that I, in that situation, thought I would do the best. And I, with the wisdom 30 years later, I might would do some situations in another way, but at that moment I haven't had the wisdom, and I tried every time to give my best. So I do not feel guilty, because and the other aspect we have to look at is the children learn something, and they develop, they get through experiences. And so the more important thing is, instead of feeling guilty, to show, okay, what have I learned and what did my children learn? So this is part of the life. And so I like looking back and connecting the dots, and then see, because of this experience now, years later, this is the result, and this result helped the child.
I
And
love that. I love that. I
yeah,
love what
so
you said, because actually it reminds me to a situation where actually how the guilt comes to mom, where it's exactly what you just said about standing outside of schools or somewhere where it's this judgment between what is good and what is bad and what is expected, and they're not quite there, and my child is not doing this, which means there must be something wrong with it. It's like it comes down to judgment. That is so true. And if you have, and it's the self-love, so you pretty much, if we feel self-love and self-worthy as a parent, and we know that we are doing the best we can with what we have at that particular situation, then the guilt can't really enter our life. And I love what you said when you're connecting the dots as well. You actually learn something, and we're all learning something all the time.
So, my oldest, my second son now, he is 27, and he just decided that he did the wrong education.
Mm-hmm.
And he went out of his job and said, I need to do something else. And, everyone is telling me, he is a doctor, he's a surgeon. And can you need to talk to him. And, because nobody is understanding his decision.
Yes.
And, yeah, when you look at your own life, see when you maybe something went wrong or bad, you learned a lot, and 10 years or 5 years later you say, oh, now I know, because I wouldn't have gone this way or this path without this experience. So we need to just look neutral at the results and not judge, because nobody has the right to say this is good or bad.
Yes, I love what you said. That relates to the program which Maria is running, and it's called The Childhood Holds the Key. I love that. The reason I'm mentioning it is because what you just said really comes down to understanding us and thinking about the transformation I went through. And this is what you always talk about. It's be the role model. If the children actually see that you say, oh, this was a silly decision and I need to make it, and now I know how I'm going to make it better, they actually watch us as well. So they learn that they can make a decision, like you're saying about your son, and changing the view, or just he wants to do something else. And he sees you following your heart. So you're a very good example to him.
And we as parents, we start judging from the first day. And
Yes, it's
so,
true, sadly.
because you haven't looked at your baby to sleep enough, this is because you did this and this, and we are looking for reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes maybe there is no reason we can see. And then this is I think, when we stop judging and talk to our children and say, this is your fault, why did you do this, and this is your fault, and then as adults we start feeling like we are the one who did something wrong, and then we feel guilty. So this is why I said this is children thinking, because we tell them, it's your fault.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes, it's the judgment. Oh, I love that. I love today's answer. Like, it is so valuable. It really, I mean, every weekend is valuable.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Maria, for your time. And thank you so much for yet another amazing answer. Love having you. And we'll see everyone next week. And
Yeah.
I'll put all the information below the video so you can
And I
chat to Maria.
appreciate your questions, Vladi. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a beautiful weekend.
You too. Bye.
Bye.